What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Silos Film Club. We break down the biggest movie news and we dive deep into the world of cinema. And today we're going to be talking about the Batman Part 2. We got good news that DC is cooking for the Batman Part 2. If you guys don't know, the Batman Part 2 might be one of my most anticipated comic book films right now. With all the comic book movies announced, this is my number one. I love the first Batman. I think it's a cinematic masterpiece, and I can't wait what they do with the second one. But we have some casting news for the Batman Part 2. A big celebrity joining the cast in a big role. And we also already have Scarlett Johansson that has been announced that is joining the Batman Part 2 in an unknown role. And that we have a returning side character, which is a main villain in the overall, the Batman famous villain in the Batman comics. It's made a very tiny small appearance in the first Batman. Before we get started with our news, and our breakdowns and our reveals of the actor that's going to be casted in the Batman Part 2 and the returning character and actor, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Turn on your notifications. You guys did not miss a beat on any of the movie news. All right, guys, the very first topic that we'll be talking about with the Batman Part 2. There's rumors. A lot of good resources have been kind of dropping this news, with the exception of Variety, Deadline, The Hollywood Reporter. So I wouldn't say take it with a grain of salt, but I would say keep your expectations not too high. I do think this is a little bit truth, but there is rumors of Barry Keoghan returning Batman, which I cannot wait to see. I don't know to what capacity he's going to be in the movie. I don't think he's going to be in a big role, because if you guys remember in the first Batman, at the end when they capture the Riddler and they show the Riddler crying in his cell, right next to him, who starts talking to him, you see the silhouette of the Joker, and it's Barry Keoghan playing the Joker. So they're setting him up. They're setting him up for a reason. They also did have that deleted scene that they released on YouTube where they have this Hannibal lecture, Silence of the Lamb kind of scenario where the Batman goes and visits Joker in Arkham Asylum and pretty much asks the Joker about of the Riddler, because he's trying to get in the mind of a serial killer and trying to look at it from their standpoint. I'm not sure if that scene is exactly canon to the movie, but it is a deleted scene, and they do show the Joker's face at the end. Not 100% sold in the aesthetics of the Joker. Maybe they switch him around because maybe they do switch him around because they only show the silhouette in the actual movie. So we shall see. There's room for improvement on the Joker's aesthetic look. I do think they might change it a little bit because they only show the silhouette, and there's a reason why they only did that. But yeah, let me read you the article from Screen Rant, guys. All right, guys, I'm going to read you off the article from Screen Rant. So pretty much Screen Rant is saying the Joker is officially returning in the Batman Part 2, and he can meet a new DC villain. The Batman could unite the Joker with another major dark villain after the same happened in the first entry, directed Matt Reeves' DC's franchise. Barry Keoghan's Joker only appeared in a cameo role in the Batman's ending, when the character was revealed to be at Arkham, where he would be teased to become friends with Paul Dano's Riddler. The Joker's biggest scene in the Batman was cut with the moment later released online. The Batman's deleted scene saw Robert Pattinson's Batman talk to Joker in hopes of getting useful information on how to stop the Riddler, which cemented that they had a pre-established dynamic. Now the Joker will seemingly be back to play a possible bigger role in the Batman's Part 2 story. Yeah, guys, like my thoughts and what am I using to what capacity? I'll explain it a little bit later, because a little bit later with one theory I might have, because it kind of reveals a thing that I'm going to talk about a casting and who I think that this new casting that they're going to be adding to Batman Part 2 and what that character is going to, who that actor is going to be playing. But I do think he's going to be in prison. There's going to be crime going around the city, and things going on that have nothing to do with the Joker, but I think there's somehow, some way they're going to visit the Joker somehow, and kind of get in touch with him on getting the mind of a serial killer. I think they're still kind of going with that way, and he's right next to the Riddler, and I think eventually they're gonna escape somehow, the Riddler and Joker, and they're gonna be a main part of the of the third Batman and whatnot. But I don't know what they're gonna do, man. I do love Barry Keoghan as the Joker. I know we didn't see him much, but I think that guy's a great actor. He did that movie with Colin Farrell called The Banshees of the Inisherin. I might be saying that correctly. And I love that movie. That movie was so good, and I think he did such a fantastic job in that movie. To me, he was a standout role in that movie, and I think if he should have won an Oscar for that. He did such a great job. If you guys have not seen him, you should definitely watch him. Watch that movie. He's such a great actor. I mean, I can't say much about the guy, but I do believe that they might bring him back to some capacity. If they don't, no biggie. They're gonna bring him back, whether it's the second or the third one. I'm almost positive. There's no reason why they would just add him there for no reason. Um, Maybe just to show that he has already stumbled across Batman. Maybe just to show that he's in that universe and they'll never show him, which I doubt it. But there's always a rhyme and a reason to everything. So are you guys excited to see another version of the Joker in the Batman trilogy with Matt Reeves? Or you guys feel like the Joker is being burnt out? All right, guys. Now let's talk about the casting news that dropped yesterday. This is big news, guys. Sebastian Stan is in talks to play opposite of Robert Pattinson in the Batman Part 2. I'll be honest, guys, I don't know what role he's playing, but everything's pointing to Harvey Dent. I know a lot of people complaining that, oh, another Marvel character is coming into the DC universe. I'm going to tell you guys this. Before we get started in diving deep, I feel like the Batman movie, how it's established and how it is, it's so different from the DCU as of now and MCU. This is more of a cinematic type of movie that's more for cinemaphiles and comic books at the same time. I know you're gonna say, well, Avengers are very cinematic. Did you not go to the movies and watch it and see everyone cheering? That's not what I'm saying. I think these movies are more like director driven, story driven, and more of a grounded feel to it. And it dives deep. I think these movies are so different than, straight up comic book movies. I almost don't even like to call these comic book movies. I think these are just really great movies. Like I said, I think the first one was a really cinematic masterpiece. It just looked great. The story moved great, very grounded. It tapped deep, touch base of who Batman is and somewhat of what Bruce Wayne is. And I think this was going to come out in the second one. And I think it's so different of the roles of what that these potential actors are playing. Scarlett Johansson and Sebastian Stan. I do think Sebastian Stan might be playing Two-Face. It all points to that. He has a great look. I already see fan art going around everywhere for it. But before we get started on, Harvey Dent, let me just read to you of what the article of Deadline has to say. Pretty much Deadline here says the Batman Part 2, Sebastian Stan in talk for opposite role Robert Pattinson in sequel. Pretty much says, after landing Scarlett Johansson for a new role in the Batman Part 2, director Matt Reeves looks to have snagged another Avenger co-star for another role in the upcoming sequel. Sources tell Deadline Sebastian Stan in talks to join highly anticipated DC studio sequel and role, which is unknown. If deal closes, he would join Robert Pattinson, who's set to reprise his role as Cape Crusader in an upcoming sequel that Reeves is writing and directing. Look, guys, I do think he's going to play Harvey Dent. He has a look for it. We've seen the fan art, and like I said before, I think these are characters that people are gonna want to play. And I think that it's not like I don't think that Matt Reeves reached out to him. Maybe he did, but I think there's something that they put on a casting call for like big actors, or just rumors of let's say Matt Reeves has been looking for an actor like Brad Pitt, which that fell through, and I think he was gonna play Two-Face. Maybe Sebastian Stan hit up his agent. He's like, hey, is there any way you can get me in contact with Matt Reeves and I'm interested in it? They have a conversation, and that's how they get going. I do think these actors want to jump into this. Maybe not the DC Universe, James Gunn, but this Matt Reeves contained thing, because, like I said, this is layers of character. And I'm going to get a little deeper, because if everything points to what I think is going, I think that Scarlett Johansson is gonna play Gilda Dent, which is Harvey Dent's wife. And I do think Sebastian Stan is going to play Harvey Dent. If you guys don't know, I think they're going to be doing a little bit of and in there, she has a very traumatic, life experience, a very traumatic life experience. Gilda Dent in that story is very complex. In that arc, Harvey Dent initially is well-meaning district attorney, and Gilda is supportive of him. However, as the story progressed, Harvey becomes Two-Face after a traumatic incident, and Gilda roles gets darker and more complex. You know, in with that, she struggles with her own issues, even considers you know, a villainous path, and does some pretty bad things. I think she ends up, like, you know, killing and murdering some people, and that kind of comes with Harvey Dent's you know, transformation to Two Face. She also has a kind of, I don't know if I could say this, kind of say this on YouTube or online, but pretty much she is pregnant, and with the environment of, you know, how Gotham is, how bad the streets are, how everyone's, you know, the crime, how everyone is, you know, kind of turning, and, you know, Harvey Dent, and she can probably see that, him going from a good person to a bad person. She pretty much gets rid of the baby, and then it's because Carmine Falcone's kind of influence in the Long Halloween, not direct influence, but kind of just of all the crime that is going, and that kind of turns Harvey Dent too as well, into Two Face, and that can be such a good thing if you can write that really good with with the writing, and that can be such a really good dynamic, with a good dynamic work of a broken, of someone that's good and turn him to broken, for, you know, for Sebastian Stan to work with as Harvey Dent, Scarlett Johansson to work with Gilda Dent. Dude, this can become something really good, and I think they'll add another villain too as well. I don't think they're just gonna do you know, Harvey Dent and Batman, because you can only do so much with that. They're gonna have to be going up against something else. I don't know what it's gonna be. I know you know, Jeffrey Wright's returning, Colin Farrell's returning as Oz, Andy Serkis as Alfred. You know, Zoe Kravitz is not going to return. I don't think she's going to return to a third one, but I really can't wait for this, guys. I really can't wait what they do. Hopefully, Two Face. I'll be down with that. If they do kind of Scarlett Johansson as Gilda Dent, I think that story is going to be very good, very deep. If it's going to have layers, traumatic, dark, a little bit of everything. But yeah, guys, that is my thoughts on the casting of Sebastian Stan in the Batman Part 2, my most anticipated comic book film that they have announced, and I can't wait till it comes out. They are cooking. They are cooking, guys. DC is cooking with this. But yeah, that is my final thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about it. Leave your comments down below who you think who he's playing, who you know, Scarlett Johansson. I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys are safe. Take care, guys. Peace.